If you weren't excited for the Supergirl movie that's coming next in the DCU, maybe after today's video, you'll be a little more excited. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos, and today we're going to talk about everything we know about Supergirl, the next movie in the new DCU. And after Superman and the ending of it, spoiler alert, we will be talking about spoilers of the new Superman film in this video. Well, I'm gonna say I'm even more excited now. Drop a like, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, turn on those notifications, and we may have a huge anti-hero that's coming in the future. There's massive speculation on how this could shake up the entire DC universe, and we're gonna connect the dots between Superman and Supergirl. And this is not your grandma's Supergirl. As I said in the beginning, spoiler time. You've been warned. By now, many of you know Supergirl shows up in the closing moments of Superman. It's not your grandma Supergirl either. In this scene, as Superman recuperates in his Fortress of Solitude, none other than Kara Zor-El literally crash lands into the fortress, and she's hungover. Yes, Superman's cousin staggers in, clearly worse for the wear, grabs her dog Krypto, more on that in a second, and shouts at him something I can't say on YouTube or I'll get demonetized, flies off, leaving Superman shaking his head. It was hilarious. It was totally unexpected as an introduction for Kara, and I'm sure all the audiences were laughing. For anyone that's used to the wholesome CW Supergirl or even the 1984 Helen Slater version, seeing Carla come in drunk was probably a shock. So what actually happened here? Well, it's a 30-second cameo. Kara thanks Clark for looking after Krypto, revealing that the Superdog is actually her pet. Yes, we knew that. Krypto, the Superdog, does exist in the DCU now, and he's been crashing at Clark's place. We knew that. He's been fostering him. And then he caused so much of the chaos we saw in the movie. Now as Kara departs, Clark even jokes about her partying on Red Sun planets where her Kryptonian power shut off so she can actually get drunk. In other words, this Supergirl has been living it up in space, blowing off steam in ways that Superman never would because he can't get drunk because apparently yellow sun means no drunk, red means drunk. It was a fun little detail that immediately tells us that Kara is very different. She's a very different kind of Kryptonian, and importantly, this cameo isn't for laughs. It is going to directly tee up to the next DCU film, which is Supergirl's own movie. So by dropping Supergirl in the end of Superman, DC is signaling that her story is coming next, and it is going to be a wildly different tone, probably way more cosmic as well. So let's talk about the movie. It's officially titled Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, though James Gunn has hinted it might simply go by Supergirl at release, which I think it will. And this film is slated for June 2026, next year, right around the corner, and it's part of the first chapter of the new DC universe under James Gunn. So if you notice Kara's edgy attitude in that cameo, it's because the movie draws directly from Tom King's acclaimed comic storyline Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which portrays a more jaded, hard-party Supergirl. Now, unlike Clark, who grew up on Earth with loving parents, Kara endured Krypton's destruction, grew up amongst its ruins, making her, I would say, much more of a cynical character. Gunn himself explained that Superman was raised with hope and love, whereas Supergirl, well, she watched everyone around her burn and perish. She is a very jaded character, so expect a much more gritty, more world-weary Kara than we've seen on screen, which I am all for. So what's the story? Well, according to leaks in the comic plot, the movie will follow Kara on this vengeful space journey. You have a young alien girl named Ruth, reportedly played by newcomer Eve Ridley, seeking out Supergirl to help her get revenge on a villain who destroyed her world. Now, in the comics, this villain is Krim of the Yellow Hills, who is a murderous villain who killed their father. Now, Kara initially wants no part of it, but eventually she and her team up on this cosmic revenge quest. So picture a Western-style mission across alien planets, and it's being described as true grit if you've ever seen that movie in space. So Supergirl is the grizzled mentor role, and you have the kid trying to look for justice. Now, along the way, they're going to visit outposts, face alien dangers, bond through hardship. You know the routine here. We'll also see Supergirl's loyal companion Krypto, of course, joining the venture because we know why he goes off with her in the Superman cameo. It is her dog. And if you thought the cameo was brash, wait till you see Kara in full force. She's kind of like a Neversoft version, and it's going to adapt to her personality. Think Deadpool, not quite as bad, but it could be good. It would blow my mind if they did a Supergirl rated R. That would be great. Kara sometimes drinks to cope with her pain, feeling overshadowed by Superman, which also adds a surprisingly human vulnerability to her character. Now, the creative team behind the film, it's pretty exciting. It's going to be led by Craig Gillespie. known for character-driven films like I and Tanya and Cruella. And the script is by Anna Nogueira. James Gunn specifically cast Millie Alcock from House of the Dragon as Supergirl. I think he nailed it. He's been a fan of hers. He felt she had the edge, the grace, and the authenticity needed for this version of Kara. Now, Alcock's casting was essentially confirmed when she appeared in the Superman camo, of course. Gunn later revealed she was his top choice from the start. In short, we have a talented young actress leading a unique genre mashup film, so think sci-fi meets Western meets superhero. In the supporting cast, well, it's reportedly going to include a lot of veterans. Matthias Schoenaerts, David Krumholtz, Emily Beecham. We don't know the roles, but maybe there's going to be a villain in Krim, other aliens, even an older version of Ruth. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. And yes, of course, Krypto and Kara's horse, super horse from the comics, could possibly make an appearance. If they bring Krypto in, why not bring the horse in? In the comic, it features her riding a winged horse during an epic chase. So fingers crossed, we get a dog and a horse. Regardless, the movie's going to be stunning, visually at least. The comic art is gorgeous and kind of whirly. It's going to be good, but I also think it's going to be intense. I think it's going to be darkly comedic, and I think it's going to be deeply emotional. This isn't a conventional cape superhero flick. It is going to be a soul-searching road trip or space trip, and it's a revenge story, and she is not like Superman. But here is where it goes off the rails. This is the big one. Lobo. Lobo is joining the new DCU. He is going to be part of Supergirl's story. Fans have been buzzing about it for months. Now it's basically confirmed. Jason Momoa, yes, Aquaman himself, has been cast as Lobo. He said he was a huge fan of him when he was a kid, the intergalactic bounty hunter, and he's coming in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. That's big news because Lobo is a wildly popular anti-hero. Momoa fits the character like a glove. He's been campaigning for the role forever, and I'm glad James Gunn actually listened to this. So think you have Marvel, you have Deadpool, that would be DC and Lobo. Ultra-violent, heavy metal biker. He's from outer space, pale skin, muscle-bound, rides a space motorcycle, and calls himself the main man. Lobo is basically unkillable, has a habit of making Deadpool-level wisecracks, except his favorite words are fragging and bastich, and the closest thing to cursing in his vocabulary. It's okay. Momoa has confirmed that his Lobo will indeed be comic accurate, right down to those trademark swears. So, in an interview, he joked, "We've been saying fragging quite a bit, so expect Lobo to bring some hilariously brash energy to this film." They're also going to give him the classic look, which is great. Momoa hinted at his Lobo design, said it's pretty dead on to the comic version, which means wild hair, leather vest, chain hook, maybe even a cigar. This is what the DCU needs. They need their version of Deadpool that's able to shake it up and just go absolutely insane. Now, how does he factor into Supergirl's story? Well, in the comic storyline, Supergirl crosses paths with Lobo during her quest. They initially kind of tangle up and then they team up in kind of a alliance, but it's uneasy. Lobo's a bounty hunter, so it's possible he's either hunting the same target, the villain Krim, or at some point, he's hunting Kara herself. We'll see. I mean, given Momoa's star power, don't expect Lobo to be a one-note villain. There's no way. No way. Sounds to me like he's going to have a brief supporting role in the movie, and probably to introduce him in the bigger picture. He's probably going to steal the scenes he's in as well. He might be an antagonist at first, but I think he's going to end up being one of those anti-heroes like we get Deadpool. And here's one more fun tidbit. According to People, Momoa literally celebrated Lobo's comic anniversary by sharing the story of that text to Gunn, and Gunn teased how excited he is for Momoa's Lobo and Supergirl. So the creators, they're embracing Lobo's larger-than-life persona. Expect Lobo to bring humor, mayhem, and a lot of attitude to the thing, and do not expect it to be a one. I guarantee you, if the story fits, he's probably signed on for 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 DCU movies. So how's it all fit into that bigger picture? I mean, Gunn and Safran, they're building the new big thing. It's neat. It fits neat to me. Turns out Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is part of the DCU's Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, so comes right after Superman, fits in like a glove, and the plan seems to be that each movie can stand on its own, but it also interconnects with the others through characters and story threads. Instead of being the opposite, and it's just a movie setting up the next movie, they all stand on their own, which is great. I mean, Kara literally drops in from space to kick off her next chapter. It's going to be a 1-2 punch of Kryptonian cousins, which I think that is freaking awesome. Will we see a Superman cameo in it? I don't know. Probably, if we do, it's probably going to be really brief. They don't want to take the shine away from her, but you would think it would make sense if they did. Bringing in Lobo, though, I want to see Lobo interact with Superman, yet alone Supergirl. There's so many dynamics here that I really want to see. So you guys let me know what you think. It's coming. and it's coming fast. It's a year away. Did they get the casting right with Millie Alcock? I read every single comment on every single video, so you guys let me know. Are you excited for Lobo being in this? And do you like the fact this is probably going to be a more gritty, visceral, more emotional movie than even Superman wasn't gritty at all. It was emotional. This one, I think this one's going to be layered with a little bit of darkness. You guys let me know. I'll keep you posted if anything new comes, and I'll see you soon.